Dear friends, my name is Natalia. You're welcome to the Arkhangelsk State Museum of Wooden Architecture and Folk Art, Malые Корелы. Nowadays, it's one of the largest open-air museums in Russia. On the territory of 140 hectares, there are more than 100 monuments of wooden architecture, such as houses, temples, windmills, and barns. They were all transported here from the Arkhangelsk region by all kinds of transport, including helicopters. Nowadays, there are 4 parts in the museum, each part representing a northern peasant settlement with architecture and planning typical for a particular part of the region. 2 parts are still planned. The first monument was brought here in 1968. 5 years later, the museum was opened for the visitors. The Museum Malye Korely has a great collection of mills. Actually, we have 8 windmills and 1 water mill. Here you can see a windmill which was built in 1902, and it belonged to a male monastery because 1 or 2 families just couldn't operate such a big windmill. To make the windmill work, they had to turn the upper part of the mill with the help of a slanting log which goes from behind. When the sail arms caught the wind, the windmill started to work. You see that the windmill has been recently reconstructed, so that's why you can see the difference in color. In old times, people protected the areas and fields under crops against domestic animals walking along the fields, such as sheep, cows, horses, and they protected the fields with the help of such kind of a fence. This fence was easily made without any nails, without any iron. The slanting poles could be easily taken away. I should say that in old times people didn't make fences around their own houses. They made one big fence around the whole settlement and around such kind of fields. You know, here in our museum we have lots of tourists all over the world, and we have lots of Norwegian groups. And as they say, in Norway you also have such kind of a fence, which is called something like skigar. And I know that in Norway you have a folk song which is devoted to such kind of a fence, the meaning of which is nothing lasts forever. Not you, not me, not this fence. And we have a very nice tradition here. Every time we have a Norwegian group, we sing just a small part of this song. It's very nice, very warm. We have lots in common, really. This is the oldest monument on the territory of our museum. The bell tower was built at the end of the 16th century. That means that it is as old as our city Arkhangelsk. The first part is a low 4-walled framework. Then comes an 8-walled framework, and they are covered with small boards protecting the frame like an umbrella. Then there is a belfry, but without any bells. You know, we have a younger bell tower of the 19th century in the square, and there are some bells in it, and you can listen to chimes here in our museum on special occasions. Then there is a tent roof and a small cupola on it. It's a very old method of wooden architecture. On later constructions between them, you can always see one more element resembling a human neck, and it is actually called a neck. Here there is no such an element, which proves that it's really an ancient construction. Our museum is very proud of this bell tower. It is one of the symbols of our museum. More than that, now when the museum was opened, to be more exact, 2 years later, in 1975, there were chimes from this bell tower. It was really a great event because it was the period of the Soviet Union, and for many years bells had been in oblivion. Our museum was the first to bring them to life. If you pay attention to the wood of the bell tower, you can see that the logs are somewhat twisted. This is very good for the quality of the construction, because if there is any crack, it doesn't go deep into the wood. So maybe this is one of the reasons why the bell tower is still alive. In old times, bell towers were not put alone. They were usually put together with the church. But unfortunately, the church was destroyed in its native place. That's why the bell tower is alone here. It's one of the symbols of our museum, and we're very proud of it. The northern houses were really huge because of the climate. The climate is cold, and it was very convenient for people to have everything inside. I mean, people lived here and they kept cattle and agricultural instruments and hay and food. It was very practical. They didn't have to put on clothes and to go out every time to do any housework. They could do everything being inside. Here you can see the oldest house in our collection. It was built at the very beginning of the 19th century. From here we can see only the dwelling part. The household part with cattle sheds and with the hay loft where people kept hay is behind. If we have a look at this house from the bird's eye view, we will see that this house makes a T-like connection. So both parts, the dwelling part and the household part, they both make the letter T. In the middle there is a hall. On both sides, two rooms which were heated differently. If you pay attention to their chimneys on the roof, you can see that they are different. A brick one and a wooden one. A brick chimney is quite familiar for us, but a wooden one is not. A wooden chimney speaks for the black type of stoking. It means that inside the room there was a stove, but without any chimney, and smoke first gets into the room and only then outside through a special flue and through the smoke escape on the roof. Of course, it wasn't really convenient because of the soot and dirt and smoke, but still it was very warm inside. The family which lived in this house was quite big. They were very good farmers, but besides, they were good hunters. They hunted elks and bears and all kinds of birds. The house is beautifully decorated with carved boards under the roof, and window shutters are really beautiful. But there is one more interesting element. You can see a wooden sun under the roof. It's the element going from the time of paganism. People believed that the wooden sun could protect the house and the residents from all kinds of mischiefs, evil spirits, evil eye, fires, all kinds of diseases. We are at the square, and here you can see our temple ensemble, which was brought from the southwest of the Arkhangelsk region, a bell tower and a church. In their native place they were also put together, and now they are together here as well. But the bell tower is younger. It was built in the 19th century, and the church is of the 17th century. There are 12 ancient bells in the bell tower, and here in our museum you can listen to chimes on special occasions, during the different kinds of traditional holidays, during wedding ceremonies, wedding traditional rites, or on special events. In old times, the bells from this bell tower joined people for church service to the Church of Ascension. The church was built of 5 cupolas, so the biggest cupola symbolizes Jesus Christ and the other 4 evangelists. The church was reconsecrated here in the museum. We don't have our own priest. We invite the priest from the nearby church, nearby village, and he comes here on special religious occasions. This is the last 5 cupolar church of this kind in Russia, and of course the museum is very proud of it. Малые Корелы is opened all the year round, without any days off. We have lots of traditional holidays here, such as Christmas, Easter, Shrovetide, and many others. We have our own folk group, when they dance and sing and play traditional northern games with the visitors. You can see families and friends having fun here. For many people, it's a nice tradition to have their weekends and holidays here. Малые Корелы is an open-air museum. But no matter what the weather is, be sure that you will leave the museum with warmed hearts and best memories until you come here again, because there is always something more for you to feel and see here. You are welcome.